Hey y'all, Authy here. You ever just look at Wind Waker on the GameCube and just think, yeah, my phone could run that? We all know about retro gaming, the NES, SNES, Genesis, Nintendo 64, etc, etc. These systems are all-time classics and we shouldn't forget our roots that led us to the consoles we have now. But there's a couple of problems with the systems and cartridges. Soon these carts will die, you're gonna pop in Turtles in Time and nothing will pop up, and then Yoshi's Island, and the next cart, and the next, and the next, and so on, and they all won't work. Except Mario is missing, but you have to be a masochist to enjoy that game. So what do you do to preserve the classics so you can play your favorite games even past when the hardware breaks down? Well, you turn to emulation. There are hundreds of emulators to choose from that play console games, ranging from the NES, Genesis, Nintendo 64, and even the PlayStation original Xbox, and even more further, the Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. But Nintendo may send you a cease and desist just for looking at the website. Son of a bitch! Now I know there is no greater satisfaction of plugging in the console, inserting the cartridge, holding the original controller, and just playing the game. I think the same way too. I got an FC Twin years back and had 4 fantastic games, and there is no way emulation is going to replace that original feeling. But I have no cord for it, and it's probably broken anyway. Rest in peace, FC Twin. Anyways, I'll be talking about some problems that people point out about emulation and see if they are correct or wrong. I'm not here to convince you whether emulators or original hardware are better because I think both are great. I just wanted to answer questions that people might have. What people question the most is the legality with emulation. Technically, it's legally illegal. While emulators are completely legal, distributing ROMs without permission from the publisher to others, either paid or free, is illegal according to the No Fun Law book. But seriously, where in the hell are you gonna find Balloon Fight in your nearest Walmart? Unless you're trying to download a ROM of Mario Odyssey, then you're breaking the law and will decrease your self-worth. But if you rip the ROM from the cartridge or disc with some hard work, it's all good. I've heard some people talk about emulators having audio issues such as crackling, latency, stuttering, or people saying that it isn't authentic and it sounds off. Yes, you're not going to get the authentic sound, but it still sounds fantastic. I've never once looked at a computer and said, yep, this is a Game Boy alright. But I've never had any other issues with emulators that play older consoles. Now I will agree with this on the Xbox 360 emulator that I play Skate 3 on. Don't worry, I have the disc. But I have heard some audio issues here and there with Xenia, but nothing major. I've heard people have audio problems with RPCS3, but I feel like it mostly happens with a lack of recommended memory you have in your desktop or laptop. Really? So you're saying an 11-year-old could download Super Mario Bros. 3 and it would impact the economy? I'm pretty sure Nintendo wouldn't care if someone bought the cartridge for $3. Now let's say you're downloading the ROM for the 2021 re-release of Miitopia on the internet, then yes, it will put a slight dent in Nintendo's pocket and it's legal. But most people use emulation for older games or they just rip the ROM from the disc, so this argument falls flat. 8-bit and 16-bit emulators run extremely well, even on my old HP work laptop that I never did any work on. Emulation is like buying a 2021 game and trying to run it on a 2013 desktop. Sure, it runs, but not well. Emulators are optimized, it's just about having decent specs. Most GameCube and PlayStation or newer emulators require a decent graphics card, CPU, and 8GB of RAM or more. If you have a high-end desktop or laptop, it runs great. Yes, there are a ton of emulators out there, but it's mostly preference. Personally, I use the Dolphin emulator for my GameCube games and DuckStation for my PlayStation 1 games. There are some emulators that are complete garbage, but these programs all do the same thing. Play retro games they were designed to play. I will leave links to my main emulators I use, but I feel like most emulators are fine.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit.
That's all the main issues I could see people asking about emulation. Now, if you like collecting cartridges and having the original hardware, or if you don't like emulation for good reasons, that's fine, you're cool in my books. But just saying I don't like emulation because it's not authentic is definitely not a good reason, because you still have to remember, the hardware and the cartridges will die, and I feel like people should accept the idea of emulation whether they like it or not. Emulation will most likely become the new norm for preserving the classics, and if you have any good reasons as to why you like or don't like emulation, I'd like to hear them. That's all from me. See ya.